Hello everyone, I'm Morgan, and today I have for you what I think is a very exciting video. I say that it's exciting because I like watching that kind of videos, but anyway, that is authors that I need to read. So I have 10 authors to talk about. I actually have read one of these authors before, and I will start with that one. I was looking at my shelves to prepare for this video, and I noticed that all of the books that I meant to talk about were literary fiction. However, I don't only read literary fiction, as you probably have seen if you've watched any of my videos. I read pretty much everything, but most of my books I buy used, and the ones that I find in the used bookstores are literary fiction. So the other ones like fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, I usually buy new and read quite fast. So what I think I will do is I will do this video about literary fiction, and I will make another one of authors that I need to read where I will talk especially about science fiction and fantasy. So look forward to that. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So I have 10 authors to talk about. 5 are men and 5 are women, which I think is great. So the first one I was talking about is the only one that I have already read, and that is Salman Rushdie. So the two that I own that I haven't read yet are The Ground Beneath Her Feet and The Moor's Last Scythe. This won the Man Booker Prize, I think, some year. I'm not sure anymore. But anyway, I don't really know anything about these books, but I did really like his last book, The Golden House. I picked it up on a whim because I thought the cover looked good, and I've heard since that he's a really great author all around, and I've been meaning to read more of his books, so I always went and picked up the ones that I found that were quite cheap, and I'm hoping I will like this. What I enjoyed a lot about his last book was that he made a lot of references to movies, and I'm a huge movie nerd, so he specifically mentioned a lot of European films, not only French ones but also like German ones, and many stuff that is very not widely known, I would say, except of people who really love movies. So that was really enjoyable. The next author that I wanted to talk about, I will pick a woman, is Kate Atkinson. I own her last book, Transcription, and one of her first books, if not the first, and that is Behind the Scenes at the Museum. So I would really like to read this one first, as it's older, and I've heard great things about it, and then Transcription, which I've heard quite good things too about. I've heard Kate Atkinson's writing is great, and I've just been really drawn to these two books for one, but also her other works. I really want to read Life After Life, which is the one that I feel most people hear about on BookTube, but most of her books seem very appealing to me, so I will definitely pick up more if I enjoy these ones. Then I want to talk about Richard Powers. I own The Echo Maker by him and The Time Over Singing. This one I think deals a lot with racism, and this one I really don't know anything about. I know that his novel The Other Story, so his last one, was shortlisted for the Man Booker, and I really want to read that as well. It deals a lot with nature, I think I heard. I know Russell from Making Paperblock likes his books, and I also hear a lot about his books on Simon's channel from Simon Savage Reads, and I really enjoy both of their tastes, so I think I will really enjoy this, and I hope anyway. Next, I want to talk about Anne Patchett. As with Richard Powers, I've heard a lot about this author on Simon's channel and Russell's channels. So I own Bel Canto by her and Run. I think I'm going to read this one first, just because there's the audiobook on Scribd, and I've been loving audiobooks, so that's a really nice way to get to it. But also, like, it's a floppy paperback, and that's just something that I love. So I'm hoping this will be great. I really don't know much. I just know that Bel Canto was also made into a movie. So if I like this, I can also watch that, which will be cool. But I'm hoping I will like them. Then I want to talk about Haruki Murakami. I own The Wind Up Bird Chronicle by him, but I've also been told to read Hardboard Wonderland and something. I don't remember the end of the title, but I've also heard great things about Kafka on the Shore and so many things. He's just an author that I feel you see everywhere, and I've been meaning to get to him for a while, so I'll be reading this one, and if I enjoy it, definitely his whole catalog eventually. I think he's written like so many books, so I will have a lot to read if I enjoy it. Then I want to talk about Ali Smith. I own The Accidental by her. But what I really want to read by her is her seasonal quartets. So spring just came out, and they are also on audiobooks on Scribd, so I've been meaning to listen to them. They're pretty short, and I just love the idea of making seasonal books. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I've heard great things about her writing again, as with all of these authors, so hopefully I will enjoy it. Then I want to talk about Jeffrey Eugenides. I own The Virgin Suicides by him. I don't typically enjoy movie tie-in covers, but this one I didn't even notice was a movie tie-in until I came home. I think it's beautiful, but anyway, I'm interested in reading this one, and I'm really interested in reading Middlesex by him, which won the Pulitzer Prize a few years ago. I was recommended it in a bookshop once, and it sounded really great. They just didn't have it in stock at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I think there are other novels that I've been really interested in by him, but again, I've heard his writing is great, so hopefully this will be a good book for me. Then I want to talk about Chimamanda and Ngozi Adichie. You've probably heard about her before, but I own Americana by her, which I've heard is really great, and I would also like to read Purple Hibiscus by her and Half of a Yellow Sun, as I've heard amazing things about just everything she has ever written, and about her as a person as well. She makes TED Talks, I think, and she's always advocating for the feminist movement, which is great, and I'm just really looking forward to this. Also, she's a Nigerian author, and I've never read a book by a Nigerian author so far. Or no, I have. My Sister the Serial Killer was written by a Nigerian author, but still, I don't really know much about that country, and I think I remember this one is on Voices, so that will be very interesting. Then I have Harry Kunzru. I've ended up picking up 2 of his books. One I bought used, so in the used bookstore, and just sounded good, and the other one I bought new, quite fairly recently, like in the end of last year, I think. And I did not notice that they were by the same author because they look so different, but when I noticed, I thought it was really cool, and I'm really curious to read both of these. And those are Gods Without Men, so that is the older one, and White Tears. I've heard about White Tears a bit last year when it came out. Everyone said it was quite a weird book, but a really good one, and that Haruki Kunzru wrote very well. So I'm curious. I hope I will enjoy it, as with any of these books. And the last author I wanted to talk about is Sarah Waters. So I own The Night Watch by her, but I've actually decided to unhaul this one just because I've, since buying this, seen the American covers, and they're so much more beautiful. Plus, they are floppy paperbacks, so that's just what I love so much, and I'm hoping I will really enjoy her writing, so I would like to have a nice copy to keep and to read, because those hard paperbacks are just not really comfortable to read, I feel. I mean, I do read them if I don't have the choice and there's no other edition, but if I have a choice, I'd rather read a floppy paperback. So I will be unhauling this one. But I'm really interested in The Night Watch by her, Fingersmith, and Tippin the Velvet. I've heard there are a lot of LGBTQ characters in her books, which really appeals to me. Mostly I've heard also that she has specifically bisexual characters, I think. I'm not sure. Which I'm really looking, because I'm bisexual, so I would like to read books about bisexual women, which I don't see often, unfortunately. So if you have any good recommendations for bisexual people, I would love to know. But anyway, that was the last author that I wanted to talk to you about. Please tell me if you have any authors that you really want to read, or if you just, I don't know, have any books that you're really excited about. So I'd love to know. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon in another one. Goodbye!